Just tap me if I'm in the way.
How are you, man? All right. How's your report? Better. More people have power. Yeah. I don't think it's still until 100 hours. No longer have the constant call of generators and chainsaws. Yeah. Parts of my work you can barely hear it. There's so much tree break. I went through Portland Place.
I'm too tall to be toward the front. I can't stand next to her. That's like next
Mayor
to my
Presser.
sister. I gotta get a box. My sister's only 5 foot tall. Man, I should want to get here.
It's about to start! Exclamation mark.
Where's Overwoman? Do you mind? You have to move back.
Has the
I'm used to
stream
my
going.
sister's only 5 foot. Who wants to go first? No, there we go.
Okay.
You can talk whatever.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mitch McCoy. I'm the Director of Public Affairs and Information for the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department. We are going to begin what is now going to be our 10th briefing since the tornado disaster started. We promised yesterday that we were going to provide an update each day. Today we are moved it up a little bit. We are going to reassess to see if we need to do another briefing later today. If that happens, we will notify you as quickly as possible. We will have Mayor Cara Spencer speak. Mayor Spencer is going to invite some other folks that are standing near her to speak. The mayor will then speak again to provide a detailed report on what was shared last night, and then she will answer questions in full today. Mayor Spencer.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Mitch. I know, given the announcement that we made last night, you all have a lot of questions about the sirens and the actions we're taking as a result of that. I will get to that. I want to hold those questions for me. I will handle all those, and I want to turn it over to some of the other elected officials who represent the affected area. I'm going to start with Alderwoman Tyus.
Good morning. Thank you for all being here. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. Yes, first of all, I want to thank Mayor Spencer. She has been incredible. From the time that it has happened, she has responded in the way that she is supposed to respond. My area, so much of my community was devastated. Reports of my house being demolished. That is not true. My fences are gone, but I'm safe. But there is nothing that I have asked of the mayor, and you guys know that if I'm not happy, I am not happy, and I let everybody know it. There is nothing that I have asked of this mayor that she has not done. She has gone above and beyond what is required of her. She's been in office 1 month. This is 100-year kind of things that happen, and she's responded. She's had Kings Highway cleaned in a matter of hours. Marcus, Euclid, Electric down, Ameren. She's done everything she's supposed to. I want to talk about the sirens because I was there when the sirens were put there. So there's an unfair narrative going on about the sirens. The sirens were not put there to be indoors. They were there for people outdoors. And they put them behind every alderperson's house. So I still have one. And even having a siren, I sometimes can't hear in my house. So do we need to update? Yes. Is it this mayor's fault? No. If we're going to put blame someplace, let's talk about the prior administrations who've been there for 4 years, and then Francis Slay 16 years. So if you're going to blame somebody, blame the right people because she's doing everything she can. I stand by her. I am proud to be here. I hardly show up for press conferences because I'm not that rude rah-rah person because I've been out in my community. I want to thank the fire chief. He saw me Sunday. I'm out talking to the people. We're having an event today at Cobrian's Presbyterian Church, which was demolished, but they're giving their parking lot And we have people coming in serving 700 meals to the people in the neighborhood. You're all invited to come. I'm overwhelmed. I feel like just crying when I see what's happened. I'm so sorry for the couple, the man who lost his wife. That was one of my constituents. I hope the mayor will accompany me if I try to have a meeting with them. We care about every single person in the city of St. Louis. And Cara Spencer is doing her best to represent all of those people, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Good morning. I'm Laura Keys with the elevated 11th Ward, and I just have to say that this has been a once in a, hopefully in my lifetime, experience. I've said this before, this is our Katrina, and that's not to take anything away from what the people in Louisiana went through, and in some cases they're still going through it. So we know that this is going to be a very long road. It's not going to be weeks, it's not going to be months, it's going to be years before we can begin to bounce back. Within probably an hour of the storm, the mayor, Cara Spencer, called me herself. And that is how all of the communication has been. She has called me herself. Most mornings by 7:30, she has been on my phone calling me, letting me know what resources are out there. We are devastated. We are hurting. My house is damaged. I'm in this thing with everybody else. We're all going through this. I am so proud of the way community came together, just block after block. I saw neighbors coming out of their houses with shovels and brooms and sawzalls and chainsaws and cutting down trees and debris to get the stuff cleared so that emergency vehicles could make it through our streets for people who may have needed help. I'm so proud of all of the business owners and restaurant owners who are feeding our people. So proud of all of the churches and non-for-profit organizations. While I'm up here, I just want to make mention that Team Jesus made it into St. Louis yesterday evening at around 6 o'clock. They are able to feed 5,000 people per day. They are located on the parking lot at Marcus and Natural Bridge. Please get the word out that if people are needing food resources, here is another location that you can go to make sure that you have resources. Naturally, in the elevated 11th Ward, our O'Fallon Rec Center, Action St. Louis is there with a variety of other resources, personal hygiene materials, as well as food and all other things that are needed. Urban League, just tremendous. Tarps, wood. We were able to tarp, I think, about 15 single-story houses yesterday because of the resources they were able to provide. But once again, everything that can be done has been done. Everything that we have called upon the administration to do for us, they have done so and done it quickly. And I can only be grateful. We've got a long road to go, and we've got to work together. I'm very disheartened to look at social media, and unfortunately I had to unfriend some people. I'm sorry. I can't deal with all of the negativity when there are people out here who are hurting. This needs to stop. Let's be about the work. Let's be about making sure that our people have what they need. I don't have time for all that other stuff. We've got work to do, and let's be about the work. Thank you.
Good morning. I'll keep it short. I just want to thank all my colleagues. As you can see, we have a nice amount of aldermen here, and I'll say this, we don't always agree down at the Board of Aldermen, but in this moment right now, we understand we have to be unified. I also want to thank our first responders. I want to thank our fire chief. I also want to thank our police chief. Our first responders have been out daily, making sure that people are safe. Like Alderwoman Taya said, we're dealing with a storm, a tornado that is probably a once in a generation, if not 2 generations. And it's just been so amazing to see people come together, to see alders supporting one another, but especially community that's come together. If it's been Action St. Louis or For the Culture, or if it's been individuals at the West Florissant Save a Lot, or if it's been the Urban League or the Red Cross, this shows how St. Louis is strong. St. Louis is resilient. And I just want to, again, thank community. Sometimes government can be slow, but community said we're not going to wait for government. People have been coming out. They've been cleaning sidewalks. They've been cutting trees. They've been connecting folks to resources. And I just want to commend the community and say thank you for the great work that they are doing, and to let folks know that we are unified, not only at the Board of Aldermen, we're unified in the city. I want to thank the mayor for all the great work that she's been doing. I want to thank the comptroller. We're in this together because we understand it's going to take months, if not years, to rebuild this city, and it's going to take all of us to put politics aside to make sure that we're standing lockstep, to make sure that the residents and the people in the elevated 11th, and the 12th Ward, and the 13th Ward, and the 9th Ward, and the 10th Ward, those residents get the resources, but ultimately be able to rebuild. And I just want to thank everybody for continuing to work together. Thank you.
Good morning. My area wasn't impacted, but I've been working with the older people that was. But I need people to understand social media is what social media is. So people need to verify the information. They're putting out that we're evicting people and we putting people out. We haven't even had time to get to that point. So the mayor has been going house to house, going to neighborhoods. She's been actually walking in the houses, seeing what people are dealing with. So I think we have shown as a city, no matter what our odds are, what our anger is with each other, we took all that energy and put it back in St. Louis. Because with St. Louis, we are a family. No matter who you are, where you come from, where you live, we still come together to show that we support each other. Now, probably after everything get okay, we'll go back to fighting, but it's okay. We're going to take this energy right now, and we're going to put it in these neighborhoods to help these people where they need to go and make sure that we support our mayor because, as Alderwoman Tyus says, she's only been here 30 days. And she came blessed with a disaster. She didn't expect that. So we have to work together to make sure that she is lifted up so she can continue the work she's doing. Thank you all.
I want to thank everybody. I am Senator Carla May, representing the 4th District. Me and Senator Roberts, both districts have been impacted by this storm. We want to thank the mayor, Cara Spencer, for her diligent work that she's been doing. And we want to thank all of these elected officials and the community and everybody, the police chief, the fire chief, all of these cooperatives that have been working together. We also want to thank, the governor and those individuals who came down to also lend a hand and see what we need. But we want to thank the community. And I think this is an opportunity for investment in an area that has been disinvested in. This is an opportunity to build it back better. And I'm hoping that we can come together to do that. And I'm hoping that you can help us spread that message. Let's build back better in North St. Louis, and let's make the city be a place that you can go in every corner of the city and it be a blessing and not look like, a rundown war zone. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm State Representative Dell Taylor from the 84th District, just on the other side of Kings Highway. But really, the people of the 84th elected me to serve all of Missouri. So I've been out and really coordinating with volunteers. Number one, stay safe, be cognizant of your environment, but do what you can. I've been working with a number of volunteer organizations, picking up trash, picking up the green stuff. We've been working very, very closely with the Red Cross. The Red Cross has set up numerous emergency shelters. The Red Cross has been delivering supplies and food. We've been very thankful for our restaurants and different folks. And I also want to say thankful to my colleagues, other state reps. We had an individual that drove from Springfield, Missouri. State Rep Jeremy Dean donated supplies from Cox Health and others. So if you want to volunteer, reach out to the American Red Cross, reach out to the City 211, reach out to your state reps themselves. Be safe, but start with your own street. Clean up your street, work with your neighbors. Your help is needed. It's going to take all of us some time to rebuild our city, but together we are making great progress. So with that, just again, a great word of thanks to everyone. If you want to help, you can help. I would encourage everyone, reach out to the Red Cross, reach out to your state reps and others to see where you can get involved. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Megan Green, president of the St. Louis Board of Aldermen. And first thing I want to do is just acknowledge all of the folks that are standing behind me, all the elected officials, our mayor, first responders. Most of the folks that you see up here right now have not really slept since Friday night and are putting in overtime. It's been amazing to see, Southside Alders come in and help in Northside Alders, making sure that we are getting supplies put together. Natural disasters don't ask you if we're ready for them, right? They just happen, and they can't wait for government to work through our processes or to make a decision. And we recognize in city government that sometimes our systems, no matter how well intentioned, don't always move as fast as residents need us to move. And since Saturday, my team and I have been on the ground working with a number of grassroots organizations. Hours after the storm, Action St. Louis, For the Culture, set up a command center, a people's hub at the YMCA in O'Fallon. And since then, they have been delivering food, water, other critical supplies directly to those in need. But they're not the only ones. For the Ville has stepped up. Dream Builders for Equity has been helping residents protect what's left of their homes to get boarded up. Organizations like Black Men Build have been out in the streets asking neighbors what they need and helping to get through them. More than half of the city's child care centers have been impacted by this storm. Most of them reside in North City. And we've seen a coalition of child care advocates and providers come together to lead a restoration effort to support those centers and the families that rely on them for care every day. But we also have to recognize that these organizations are not acting alone. I've witnessed labor unions step up with supplies and labor. I want to give a huge shout out to everybody in our labor community who has really been out there since day one to help. We've seen small businesses step up, many who have even been impacted, step up and provide hot meals and beverages to folks on the ground. We've seen churches open their door to provide shelter, and residents from less affected neighborhoods like Power Creative collect donations and do daily shipments to make sure that all of that makes it north. But I want to be clear that these needs are not going to stop this weekend. They're not going to stop next weekend. They're not going to stop the weekend after that. We have people right now in our community who are sleeping in tents on their property. We have folks who won't go to shelter because they're afraid that if they leave their homes that they will not be able to come back. People in our community don't need just one-time help. They need sustained support from all of us. So I'm asking our corporate and philanthropic leaders in our region, many who have already stepped up and been providing a lot of aid, please help by sending non-perishable food, water, infant formula, diapers, board-up supplies like plywood, things that will ease the hardship and support the work of volunteer groups and individuals who have been out in the field constantly since Friday. I also want to acknowledge, like many have said today, that once things stabilize, we have to be ready for the next challenge. Not just by fixing roofs and repairing homes, but by rebuilding lives in entire neighborhoods. To that end, I remain committed to, I've gotten a lot of questions about this. I remain committed to what I've said from day one about RAMS funds. Residents have made clear previously that they want to see us invest in affordable housing, childcare, infrastructure, real opportunities for historically disinvested neighborhoods. And we have to recognize that all of those needs that have been brought to us from community previously have skyrocketed since Friday. And so yes, we need federal support, we need state support, we need the city to make its own financial commitment to North St. Louis, and I know that that will be coming. But I also want to be clear that even if we spend every dime of RAMS settlement money in the north side, it is not going to be enough. We need our federal government to step in. We need, hopefully we will get FEMA here. But I'm also asking our corporate and philanthropic community to please be in this with us for the long term, because this is not something that the city can shoulder on our own. And in closing, I want to thank our city workers, our first responders who have worked around the clock since Friday to search every building, clear every street, and keep an eye on every single block. I can't imagine what the last 5 days have been like for you. I also want to make sure, once again, that I thank Mayor Spencer and her team for keeping residents informed. I mean, we speak several times a day, either directly with the mayor or with her team, to make sure that we can get accurate information out to the public. And like Alderwoman Boyd said, there's a lot of misinformation that is going around on social media, and unfortunately we see that happen around natural disasters. So be sure to vet where you are getting your information from. And I want to thank so many members of the Board of Aldermen for being boots on the ground. And finally, just to thank every organizer, volunteer, neighbor who opened their heart, their wallet, their home since Friday. You have shown us all what it looks like to come together as a community to show unity, and we are excited to show that unity here together and continue that as we rebuild St. Louis.
Okay. Thank you. Alderwoman Tyus made a good point. We should thank these guys right here that are working to restore power. Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you. I know you all, this is just an incredible, we all can see how we're coming together. And, you know, we often do fight. We can get back to that sometime soon, I'm sure. But we are acting in unison. It is important. I also want to recognize that there have been gaps. There will be gaps. Let us know where we're not hitting the mark. We want to be present. We want to do everything we can to support our communities. We're here. We're ready to continue the work. A couple of quick announcements that you know. This morning, FEMA is on the ground doing evaluations with us to ensure that we're moving that process forward. The National Guard came in yesterday to help us conduct the necessary evaluations to make those asks. We're moving forward with that. And we have a robust team that looks a lot bigger than what you see even here, that is back at police headquarters at CEMA, working around the clock to get the processes and the procedures and the response in place to be able to serve the community. I also know you all have a lot of questions regarding the sirens, okay? And I want to go through that before we take questions. As you all know from my press briefing yesterday, last night, that we placed our CEMA Commissioner on leave, and we released the documents and the recordings related to the calls as they were related to the siren failure, okay? This is pending the leave is pending a full investigation into the actions of our city emergency management agency on Friday. We know that there was a failure to sound the tornado alarms. After learning of the failure of the sirens, I immediately ordered an internal investigation. The initial focus was focused on correcting the immediate action to make sure that this didn't happen again. We did this by changing the siren protocol and clearly placing the responsibility of activating the sirens with the fire department. However, as that investigation continued, it became increasingly clear that there was not just one issue, there were multiple. I had directed my staff to initiate an external investigation to fully explore this and other potential issues. Friday afternoon, CEMA staff were at a workshop at 1520 Marketplace. They were not in CEMA headquarters, despite where the actual button is located, despite the weather issues that we knew were coming. This meant that our CEMA staff could not activate the button. When the warning was issued by the National Weather Service, the fire department was contacted by CEMA. At that point, there was a breakdown in communication. The directive to activate the sirens was not clear. This cannot happen when a tornado is ripping through our community. Our safety depends on clear and direct communication. We did release the auto recording to the public last night. Let me be clear, CEMA exists to alert the community when severe weather is coming. This office failed to do that in the most horrific and deadly storm that our city has experienced in my lifetime. We also know that our commissioner has served in goodwill, but we cannot move forward without providing accountability, ensuring that we have a robust emergency management system in place to provide confidence in the system that we have to ensure that our residents will be alerted in times of severe weather. Starting tonight, Captain John Walk with the fire department will lead CEMA, our local emergency management system, until a permanent commissioner is installed. Wednesday morning, an additional incident management response support team will be provided by the Metro West Fire Protection District Chief Michael Thiemann. Thiemann was a team manager of the Missouri Regency Incident Response Team during the 2022 floods, and he did an excellent job, and he'll do an excellent job for us here moving forward. Following the failure to activate the sirens, I signed an executive order Tuesday morning to overhaul the sign activation protocol. Under the new protocol, the fire department alone will be responsible for activating the siren. The siren system to be activated is at the primary activation point at the fire department headquarters, okay? Yesterday, you know that we issued a testing of the siren. At that point, we learned that there were further issues with that system. We took action immediately to fix those issues, and we now have somebody from the fire department located at CEMA 24 hours a day to push that button should we need it, while we ensure that the fire department can activate that system flawlessly moving forward. We will be conducting additional tests today at noon to ensure that the system is working. We know that testing the system is traumatic, and we wouldn't do it if we did not believe that it was absolutely necessary to ensure that our system is working well. To that end, I will take questions. I want to also offer questions to the rest of the folks standing behind me, but I want to be very clear that the system and its failures are my responsibility, and I will take all questions related to those issues.
About where the activation system stands? Is there a disappointment? Is there more shock, stunned, both?
I'm a bit shocked and disappointed, but I also want to be clear that I am confident in what we have done over the last 48 hours to ensure that we can reliably activate the system should we need to. I have been shocked, and I remain shocked, and frankly a bit horrified by the issues in the system, okay? But I am also very confident that we can activate the system when and if it's necessary in the coming days, weeks, months, years ahead. We also have a plan in place and funding that we had allocated a year and a half ago to automate this system.
So during that phone call, has anyone asked the other person on the other end of that phone call what they heard, if it was clear or unclear in this investigation?
I don't know what that person has indicated as a response, but what I will say is that it was not clear. It should have been crystal clear. A directive should have been made specifically to that person to sound the alarm. And it was not crystal clear. It's also clear to me that the button at the fire department was not working as it should have been. So regardless of that directive, that alarm system was not working in the way it should have been.
Can you speak about
And let me also just clarify that. Testing of the fire system, the alarm system, falls under CEMA. Okay, and we need to, and now that we are fully vetting and testing this with a robust system and a robust team that includes emergency management professionals from around the state to ensure that it does operate flawlessly. It did not operate flawlessly before.
We talked about that slight not being pressed, Mayor, but can you
How
tell
about,
us?
I promise I will answer all questions. Okay, I really will. I'm not going to go anywhere.
Was the fire department aware of its secondary responsibilities to sound the siren, and should the button at the fire department have been tested before yesterday? Because the protocol is actually that fire department is the primary, so why weren't they aware that their button wasn't working?
It's a great question, Rachel. I cannot speak to whether or not the fire department knew that the button didn't work. They should have been aware of that. We are taking every step possible to ensure that they are informed and know, and that the testing is conducted in a way that all parties involved in the protocol will know moving forward. Yes.
So, when Russell called the fire department, did the fire department push the button, or they didn't understand that they were supposed to, whoever the call?
It's my understanding that when Russell called the fire department, the direction was not clear. I listened to the recording. My takeaway was that the direction was not clear. It did not direct the person on the other end to press the fire button. And it's my understanding that the button was not pushed. It's also my understanding that had the button been pushed, it did not work the way it should have.
So the sirens didn't go off at all?
It's my understanding that the sirens did not go off as they should have.
Mayor, citywide.
It is my understanding that the sirens did not go off as they should have citywide.
Mayor, I've been out in the community, I've been talking to people, a lot of frustrated people, a lot of folks feeling a sense of hopelessness. When can they expect to hear from FEMA directly about their issues, and what message would you send to residents out there who are out of their homes who want to hear something? What do you tell those people?
What I will tell them, FEMA is on the ground right now, working with us to do evaluations. Bringing FEMA in, it's my understanding, it's not going to be a quick process. We are doing everything in our power. I am confident that the state is doing everything in our power, and all elected officials at every level here are doing everything they can to make that process as quick as possible.
KMOX, was the fire department's button tested the day before the tornado on Thursday when the test was happening? Did the fire department, did they test their button as well before the sirens go off?
I want to make sure that that question is answered definitively, and it is part of our internal and external investigation. We will get an answer to that definitively. I don't want to speculate now. I do not know the answer definitively right now.
How long has that button been broken?
I also want to answer that question, and that will be part of our both internal and external investigation. I cannot answer it definitively, and the public deserves a definitive answer on that. We will get it.
Greg and Spectrum.
The recording doesn't necessarily make it clear that it
was Russell. I mean, it was her, but did the person on the other end of the line know that was Commissioner Russell who was calling?
It's not clear to me from listening to the recording that that person knew who was calling either, as of right now. So I can't answer that definitively, and I haven't spoken to that person, nor has that person definitively addressed that question. But I think it's a good question, and we will look into answering it.
So when Russell says, "So you've got the sirens," and she says yes, she doesn't know that she's hearing that from the commissioner of CEMA.
I don't know the answer to that, and we should get an answer to that. I don't have it definitively right now.
Why was the CEMA commissioner out of his office? Why was the CEMA commissioner out of the office at a workshop when we knew that there were storms coming that day? We talked a lot about the buttons, but people are wanting to know why was that person out of position and not in position, to sound that alarm.
I don't know the answer to that other than what I have been told, that CEMA and their staff were conducting a workshop at 1520. As I mentioned in my press release, we knew there was weather coming. We should have been at the button, okay? And I don't know why that decision was made. I don't agree with that decision.
Mayor, what do you say to the public? There are people asking, we didn't hear anything,
Yes.
As we've been talking. They're hurting, they're devastated, obviously, as we all are. How do you provide hope to these people who are literally, like you all have said, on social media, saying so many things? How do you provide hope to them when they feel like there is none?
What's clear to me in this investigation regarding our siren is not one thing. It's a host of things. It's like pulling back an onion. We have systemic failure across so many systems here. And we have a robust team that is unified in fixing this. We have our state, we have professionals from across the region who have descended upon our city, who are at police headquarters right now in the community, who are committed to fixing this. And I am confident, and I do have hope, and I do have confidence that we, as a unified city, are going to fix the systemic issues one by one, and we are going to make our emergency response work for our community, and we are going to respond to this calamity to address the needs of our community and to rebuild our city.
I know St. Charles County has the emergency operating system where they actually can remote the siren. And they require those individuals to be inside the building when a storm does come. Is that something that you all may consider, protocol changing that?
We are considering that protocol. We are looking at best practices. We are also looking at automating this system so there is no human error that can take place.
Could additional personnel changes be made depending on the outcome of the investigation?
That's a personnel issue. I will say that as the result of our internal investigation, which has been fairly robust given the circumstances and that we are juggling the response and the investigation at the same time, I will say that I am confident in the team we have. There is going to be an external investigation. We are still evaluating options on that, but an external investigation will be part of this. Yes. I'll speak to this last question first. That is a personnel procedure. It is a procedure that is required under city law. That is the procedure that we were advised that we have to take as a matter of personnel. Regarding why that robust system wasn't in place, I will say that we have taken every step to ensure that that never happens again. I agree with you that that should have not been the case, and I share your horror, and I can't feel your pain, but I am taking every step to ensure that it never happens again.
And I hope somebody, like you said, the police, they have scanners, fire department, they have scanners. You got the CEMA, they should have had a scanner so they could be there. Now you understand, you test the thing right the day before, and
Yes.
so something would, I mean, I'm saying something would have said, okay, let me have what I need with me, so I can be by the button. The tail club is supposed to be sitting there by the button to push that button
Yes.
at the time, because I was riding in the storm.
Yes.
And so I didn't hear nothing. I'm like,
Yes.
why? Well, you know, 'cause I heard it yesterday, the day before. So why am I not here today? So
Yes.
somebody should have a scanner and put you on at all times, no matter if the fire department has what they need.
Yes.
The media is telling you every day, all day about
Yes.
the weather. It's even breaking news. That's all.
Yeah, I agree with you, and what we are continuing to fully investigate this and outline exactly what we're going to do, and we will share that with the public to ensure you that it is a robust system in place.
Big picture in North City, big green addressed in general about the grant money, about repairs. Driving through and seeing the extensive amount of damage, are you confident that
Yes.
that it can be fixed? I mean, is there a path forward, do you think, for North City with all of the damage that's had? People like myself and many others who have been here for a long time, this is bad.
It is bad.
What? Is there a path forward in your mind?
There is a path forward, and we are going to do everything humanly possible to make sure that we are rebuilding North St. Louis. I also want to point out there's areas of West St. Louis that are also very badly impacted here, okay? And our city has experienced a once in a lifetime generational damage, and we are going to do everything we can to rebuild.
And Mayor, we've been seeing death threats. We've been seeing death threats circulating online as it relates to Commissioner Sarah Russell. How are you responding to that type of negativity as it relates to her identity? People are specifically calling for death threats as it relates to her identity. What's your response to that?
That is inappropriate and horrifying. Commissioner,
People are innocent until proven guilty.
And-
we have to treat people like that.
look, our commissioner is a human being, and I'm asking for some grace. And I also recognize that her job, her role is, the role of the CEMA director is to protect the lives of all of our community. And it is an important role, and we all need to be held accountable. I have an important role, and if I fail, I want to be held accountable, okay? But I'm also asking for grace.
Anytime we have something like this, death threats against a citizen and or an official, we have our intelligence division. We follow up on that. We make sure we do a proper investigation, see where it's coming from, because that's not acceptable. And we will follow that up with the full extent of the law to make threats like that against any citizen, against a public official, and against someone that was doing their job. So we're going to make sure we follow up on. We take that very seriously. So we can't talk about these investigations but we are following up on what your question. Absolutely.
Mayor, I think sometimes we often forget we're all human.
Yes.
And we often ask you a lot of questions about the pressure that the people are putting on you. But Mayor, I want to take a moment. It's been since Friday. How do you feel? And I know it's probably it's a lot, but I personally, this is your city too.
It is my city.
You
It is our
work
city.
here, you live here. I want to hear from you.
I think some of you might have, this is emotional. I am finding strength in community. I am finding strength in all of the work that is being done by the community, for the community, with the community here. And I'm feeling, I have been so grateful to be invited into people's homes, to see the trauma that this has caused. And I can tell you that at the same time we are taking moments to feel, we are also hard at work, and we will remain hard at work until we rebuild our community. Thank you for asking. It's not just me. All of us are holding this. All of us are holding this. And the weight that I feel is nothing compared to a family that has lost their home, that has lost a loved one. And our community has lost so much. So what I'm holding on my shoulders is a fraction of what the majority of our St. Louisans are dealing with right now.
Mayor, what do you,
Is there any disciplinary action in the fire department? I mean, couldn't they have done something to make sure that the sirens went off?
Again, that's a personnel issue, but I do have, I want to be very clear. I have confidence that that our fire department is going to issue the alarm should we need it. And the results of the internal and external investigations will be made public as much as we can.
Mayor,
yes.
You said that the test yesterday surfaced some new systemic concerns with the sirens. Is there anything
Correct.
else to consider about that?
I think I mentioned, Ryan, that the button that was pressed, the button at the fire department was not working as it should have, okay? We also know that some of the sirens were damaged. We also have concerns about what sirens were activated. We have taken immediate actions to address layers of systemic issues within that emergency response or emergency alert system.
Mayor, what is the message that you have for citizens who are feeling a sense of hopelessness?
As I mentioned earlier, Elliot, we are working together. And the response that you saw starting on Friday at 3:30 p.m. with the fire department out, the police department, all departments out clearing roads, ensuring safety of our community. I want to say the fear of looting, the overwhelming protection that the community exerted upon itself to protect each other, their neighbors, the amount of coming together that has just across all boards, Elliot, has been tremendous. And I do have confidence moving forward we can continue this. But I also want to reiterate that we have got to continue to work together. We are all in the midst of trauma. This is a very traumatic event. And as we move forward, and we are still in shock, the weight of this is yet to bear down on us as a community, and the work is just beginning.
Do you have any?
Thank you. Yes. This is an excellent question, especially because some of the signals are down. People don't know how to transport safely. We are working with the director of Bi-State. We will continue. We'll have a more robust communication on that, hopefully today, if not today, very soon, because as you mentioned, the fact that your car is completely damaged, completely destroyed, these are not issues that are going to end today or tomorrow or anytime soon. So we are working with Bi-State. We will have more information on that very, very soon.
Do you have any updates in terms of
the notices to people who are in the buildings? I saw on Facebook last night that you're not condemning them, you're not forcing people out.
That's right.
But I've seen letters from property management companies that are saying if you have a red tag on your building, you can't even get in to get your belongings. What is the status there? Can people be in their buildings? Are you condemning buildings?
We are not punishing anybody for entering their property, okay? And we want to make very clear, the reason we are out there, the building division is out there identifying and evaluating buildings for safety. And this is important for a couple different reasons, one of which is just the safety of our community. It is not clear to the general public, myself or a non-professional, to understand whether the structural damage to a property is one that's going to make the building unsafe or unstable to enter. So our building division, those professionals are out there to evaluate. We're also doing those evaluations to enumerate the physical and the financial damage to these structures. That's a critically important piece of that FEMA hopeful declaration. So there's multiple layers here. But the purpose is not to punish people, residents, tenants, or property owners at this point. That it is purely informative, and that those color codes are designed to help deliver that message to the public.
Can building owners legally force someone out of a building or legally tell them do not enter, do not occupy right now?
Rachel, that is a good question. I don't have a definitive answer to that, but we will work on getting that today for you.
And do you have any updates as it relates to dumpsters? We're hearing from residents in the north side and the west side that there's a lack of dumpsters out. We know that you posted on social media about that. Just wanting to know if there's any progress on that.
Yes. Right now, all of the priority for dumpsters has been on tree removal so that we could clear the roads and the alleys to be passed. We also know that now we are moving into warmer weather and that human waste, refuse is needed to get removed from the system, and we are pivoting to try to make sure that we have paths of getting those dumpsters in place and removing garbage from the area. We had to make sure that the alleys were passable for the refuse workers and for the refuse trucks, but we are pivoting, and we do understand that that's a critical need as of right now, and we are focusing on that.
So the 10 to 20 million that you mentioned yesterday in local aid.
The
10 to 20 million you mentioned yesterday in local aid from ARPA money. I don't know if that's Rams money maybe, but where does that plan stand and what could it be used for?
That is a little bit of a longer range plan. What I was speaking to yesterday on local money, that is specifically ARPA money that can be pivoted under those federal guidelines, I should say potentially can be pivoted pending a legal review to be applied to the tornado relief. The plan for that has not been flushed out, but we have identified what we believe to be potential ARPA funds that can be pivoted to address housing and urgent immediate needs as it relates to the tornado response.
Is the system prepared? Is the city or the alderman, is the fire department, police department prepared for another major tornado that might just come through any time now? Are they prepared?
Yes, ma'am.
So how?
Because we have taken our team and we have brought in partners from across the state, across the region. I have never seen such a robust system in our city right now. We have it. If we have another calamity, we are ready. Nobody can be ready to protect everybody from a natural disaster, but we are as ready as we can be. And I do have confidence in the team we have in place that we are ready to pivot and we are ready to react if necessary.
So as a community, how can we be ready? How can the citizens be ready? Knowing that everybody, like you said, is human, we're going to have so many people
Yes.
that can't prepare.
I would say take personal precaution. What we are most concerned about right now is the stability of buildings that have lost their roofs, lost their sides, lost structural components. Take caution. We are getting the building division and other inspectors out there as quickly as possible to help educate residents on how stable or how unstable their buildings are. Do take that information seriously and use precaution, not just for residents, but volunteers that are coming out to help. We want to make sure that the public has the information they need to best conduct their business to ensure the safety and well-being of themselves and the folks involved in the recovery.
There will be time for more questions later. Are there any other immediate questions that folks need to have answered right now?
If you just have questions for me, I will answer all your questions, but I do want to give some respect to the rest of folks who are standing out here in the sun. I'm not going anywhere, but if you have any other questions for folks here, maybe now would be the time. We'll take a quick break. I'm not going anywhere. I will continue to answer questions.
Mayor, if you don't mind, I just want to reiterate, and if you guys could help reinforce that we will be, as the mayor mentioned, testing the outdoor warning siren system at noon today. Make sure your folks know and make sure, help us get the word out on that. We are utilizing Notify STL and social media, but that's just to make sure that as we've made adjustments yesterday to that activation point, that it's going to be fully functional if we need it again. Thank you guys, and we'll let you know about the next media availability.
Thank you all. Can I answer one question about how citizens can be involved? You see this thing that's in our hand? I was at a luncheon when this thing happened, okay? 100 phones went off at the same time. You can sign up for the weather alerts. And that when you do that, then you don't have to depend on the outside noise or the outside speakers. So I would just say, sign up for the weather alerts. I know that won't cover everything. You gotta have a multitude of different ways that you notify people. So a siren is only one of them. But more and more, almost everybody, even our grandmothers, have cell phones as a way to be notified.
Notify STL.
Notify STL. If you do that, that will help a great amount of people. I'm gonna post it, and I would say you share that with everybody, okay? That's a way to be notified.